gadget dingus thingamajig. A garage filled with electronic parts and other valuable doohickeys.
Preternatural is a formal adjective used to describe things that are very unusual in a way that does not seem natural. He has a preternatural knack for imitating bird calls. There was an eerie, preternatural quiet in the house.
Unfavorable or unfortunate. Unless anything untoward happens, we should arrive just before midday. The dose can be increased slightly without any untoward effects.
To atone for something is to make amends for it. That is, to do something good as a way of showing that you are sorry about, or have remorse for, a mistake, bad behavior, etc. The novel opens with an act of cruelty and then traces the thoughts and actions of those responsible as they try to atone for it. The director of the company has expressed a wish to atone for her past sins.
Bad handwriting, poor penmanship. Since your cacography is difficult to read, you should definitely type your essay. To improve my cacography, I practice my penmanship at least 20 minutes each day.
Gibbous is most often used to describe the moon or a planet when it is seen with more than half but not all of the apparent disk illuminated. The waxing gibbous moon provided the perfect lighting for a night of spooky storytelling around the campfire.
Books produced before 1501 in the early days of printing. Incunabula are the books printed before the January 1st, 1501. These designs now rank among the incunabula of the 1960s.
Repertoire typically refers to a list or supply of plays, songs, dances, etc. that a company or person is prepared to perform. Repertoire may also refer to a supply of skills or devices, or more broadly, to an amount or supply. The band's repertoire includes both classic and modern jazz. The couple enrolled in a cooking class to expand their culinary repertoire. His fashion repertoire includes a rotation of vibrant floral tops.
Living or growing among rocks. The saxicillin plant thrives in rocky mountainous areas. Saxicillin species are adapted to harsh rock surfaces.
Sonorous is an adjective used in formal speech and writing to describe something that has a deep, loud, and pleasant sound. Sonorous can also mean producing sound when struck and imposing or impressive in effect or style. The baritone's deep, sonorous voice cut through the din of a crowd, the voices immediately halting their conversations to listen more intently.
Of a leaf with smaller leaflets arranged on either side of its stalk or stem. Mimosa is a tree with pinnate leaves. The trunk is unbranched, often much shortened, and bears a crown of feathery or pinnate fronds.
To embarrass someone is to make them feel confused and foolish in front of other people. Unexpected laughter embarrassed the speaker. I didn't want to embarrass him by kissing him in front of his friends.
To grant a prize or an award to. The foundation will premiate individuals who exemplify elegance in design.
Candor refers to the quality of being open, sincere, and honest. During the interview, the comedian spoke with candor about the nervousness she feels every time she takes the stage. I don't trust him, he said in a rare moment of candor.
To free from faults or errors, correct. These studies show him collating manuscripts and amending texts. The text is currently being amended and will be published shortly.
Finicky describes someone who is very hard to please, or something that requires a lot of care, precision, or attentive effort. Although she was a finicky eater as a child, she grew up to become a world-renowned chef famous for her encyclopedic knowledge of global ingredients. The latest game in the series boasts amazing graphics, but the controls are a little finicky.
The beginning of evening, twilight, dusk. He kindles his lamp at evenfall. With the coming of evenfall, the Greek island takes on an entirely different mood.
Duress, which is typically used with under, refers to force or threats meant to make someone do something. It is used especially of unlawful coercion. The defense asserts that the defendant's confession was made under duress. He claimed that he signed the confession under duress.
Of meals or eating at one's desk in an office. 70% of people eat their lunch al desco. Boredom was the most common excuse for al desco snacking.
To obviate something, usually a need for something or a necessity, is to anticipate and prevent it. A formal word, obviate, can also mean to make an action unnecessary. The new medical treatment obviates the need for surgery. Allowing workers flexibility should obviate any objections to the change.
A bit of finery, a showy article of dress. Her outfit was adorned with colorful fallals. The market was full of fallals and trinkets.
Something described as languid shows or has very little energy, force, or activity. We paddled at a languid pace in no hurry to arrive at our picnic destination. They turned with languid movements from back to front so as to tan evenly.
Goodbye. So long. Words from the 1920s like toodle-loo, toodle-pip, or right-ho sound so dated today. He waved goodbye saying, toodle-loo, to his friends.
Imprimatur is a formal word that refers to explicit approval or permission. Though not an official project of the theater, the Drama Festival has its imprimatur. The project cannot go ahead without the imprimatur of the Treasury.
A sports arena equipped with a track for cycling. Cyclists trained daily at the velodrome. Spectators filled the velodrome to watch the thrilling event.
Penultimate means occurring immediately before the last one, or in other words, next to last. A formal adjective, it is always used before the noun it modifies. The penultimate episode of the TV series features some shocking plot twists that set up what will surely be a thrilling series finale. The penultimate chapter of the book.
To appease, to pacify. They attempted to placate the students with promises. The concessions did little to placate the students.
Utopia refers to an imaginary place in which the government, laws, and social conditions are perfect. A utopia is a place of ideal perfection. It's a nice place to live, but it's no utopia. Try and imagine a perfect society, a utopia in which the government really got everything right.
Large or capital letters. The majuscule text stood out on the page. The manuscript featured majuscule script from the 6th century.
To coalesce is to come together to form one group or mass. The club's community service projects provide students with a common goal to coalesce around. The movie is full of beautifully written scenes, but they never coalesce into a whole.
A track or trail, especially that of a wild animal pursued as game. They searched around the hut for a spoor. He located the fox's spoor and loped along in pursuit.
Biannual is an adjective used to describe something that happens twice a year or something that happens every 2 years. The art show is a biannual event that won't happen again for 2 more years. The group holds biannual meetings in December and July. Sham, spurious, or counterfeit. The pinchbeck jewelry fooled many at first glance.
Litany usually refers to a long list of complaints, problems, etc. It can also refer to a sizable series or set, a lengthy recitation, a repetitive chant, or a particular kind of call and response prayer. Among the television critics' litany of complaints about the new series is the anachronistic costume design. The manufacturers are reported to have received a litany of complaints from dissatisfied customers.
Capable of shaping diverse elements or concepts into a unified whole. He believed that the imagination had an esemplastic power. We have used an esemplastic approach that brings together a number of theories. Kibosh refers to something that serves as a check or stop. It is usually used in the phrase put the kibosh on to mean to stop or end something or to prevent something from happening or continuing. I downloaded an app to help me put the kibosh on my high screen time. The presence of a submarine would kibosh the operation.
To insert between, to mix. A compendium of advertisements and reviews interlarded with gossip. When muse is used to mean to think about something carefully or thoroughly, it is usually followed by about, on, over, or upon. The word can also mean to become absorbed in thought, or to think or say something in a thoughtful way. He mused on the possibility of pursuing a master's degree. I could sell the house, she mused aloud, but then where would I go?
To make a crackling sound, crackle. The night crepitates with an airy whistling cacophony.
Veritable is a formal adjective that means being in fact the thing named and not false, unreal, or imaginary. It is often used to stress the aptness of a metaphorical description. The island is a veritable paradise. The sale attracted a veritable mob of people.
Originating, existing, or occurring at the same time. Pythagoras was contemporaneous with Buddha. How do we know that the signature is contemporaneous with the document? An etymology is an explanation of a word's history, that is, where the word came from and how it developed. As a word nerd, I'm always eager to learn a word's etymology and trace it back to its earliest known origins. A list of selected words and their etymologies is printed at the back of the book.
Use especially to express surprise or contempt. You are waiting for my story. Story, quoth, story I've none to tell. Art thou mad? Mad, quoth, I am more sane than thou.
Something described as sedentary does or involves a lot of sitting. Sedentary can also mean not physically active as in a sedentary lifestyle or not migratory as in sedentary birds or a sedentary civilization. Editing the dictionary is a sedentary job. A sedentary lifestyle spells bad news for hips and thighs.
A veranda, especially a fully furnished one used as a living room. During the algae blooms, they can't eat on their lanai or open the windows of their home. The storm left tree limbs littering the streets and porches and lanais crumpled. To frolic is to play and move about happily. We watched the seals as they frolicked in the harbour. A group of suntan children were frolicking on the beach.
To eat quickly and voraciously. They snaffed up frozen yogurt. The kids snaffed all the cookies. Rancid usually describes something edible that has a strong and unpleasant smell or taste because it is no longer fresh. In figurative use, rancid describes things that are very distasteful or offensive. The corpse flower, which is the largest known individual flower of any plant species, stays open 5 to 7 days and emits a rancid odor. There was a rancid smell coming from the kitchen.
Rural, rustic. The agrestic charm of the village was appealing. The agrestic landscape soothed her city-weary nerves.
Wreak means to cause something very harmful or damaging. It is often used with on or upon. The virus wreaked havoc on my laptop. She was determined to wreak revenge on both him and his family.
Intended for, understood by a chosen few. He has an esoteric collection of old toys and games. Specialist dictionaries may be required to understand some of the more esoteric texts. Cognoscenti refers to a person with expert knowledge in a subject. It is usually encountered in its plural form, cognoscenti, and preceded by the. The audience at the club, though small, was full of writers, musicians, and other noteworthy members of the jazz cognoscenti. The hotel is considered a classic by architectural cognoscenti.
An underground aqueduct. The ancient city-state relied on a canat to bring water from the mountains to their arid fields. Something described as acerbic is sharply or bitingly critical, sarcastic, or ironic in temper, mood, or tone. The comedian draws crowds that appreciate his acerbic wit. The letter was written in her usual acerbic style.
To approve, confirm, or ratify. One body of patrons elected the teacher, the others afterward homologating the appointment. The board will homologate the new regulations next week. Menagerie refers to a collection of animals kept especially to be shown to the public, as well as a place where such animals are kept. It can also refer figuratively to any varied mixture of things. The aviary featured a menagerie of exotic birds. The space is eclectically furnished with a menagerie of flea market finds.
Coarse, dark sugar. She sweetened her tea with jaggery. Jaggery is sold in blocks at the market.
Deliquesce can mean to dissolve or melt away, or in reference to some fungal structures such as mushroom gills, to become soft or liquid with age or maturity. The mushrooms deliquesced into an inky fluid. A series of columns of ice deliquesce into a puddle, to persuade someone using flattering words or acts. She wheedled her way onto the guest list. The kids can always wheedle money out of their father. Truculent describes a person who is easily annoyed and eager to argue or fight. It can also describe the mood or attitude of such a person. The approach of multiple deadlines had put me in a truculent mood, and I could tell my colleagues were avoiding me. His days of truculent defiance were over.
A manual of magic or witchcraft used by witches and sorcerers. He found a grimoire hidden in the old library. A hobgoblin is a mischievous goblin that plays tricks in children's stories. When used figuratively, hobgoblin refers to something that causes fear or worry. This Halloween, we were greeted at our door by werewolves, mummies, and a wide assortment of sweet-toothed hobgoblins.